Hi, welcome to the first episodes of Whispers of Wonder. I'm Sky, and this is a podcast about characters. The ones we create, the ones who haunt us, the ones who save us. This isn't going to be a perfect show. It's going to be real. Before we dive into any one character, I wanted to take a step back and talk about something bigger. The why of all this. Why write characters? Why tell stories? And why do I care so much about the ones I've made? The truth is, I wouldn't still be here without them. I'm not going to give you my life story. This is not what this episode is for. But I will say, I didn't always feel safe, or understood, or like I belonged. There were years, a lot of them, where I felt like I was constantly bracing for impact. Bracing for another whisper behind my back, another hallway stare, another comment. The gay comments, the weird comments, the what even are you comments. I remember all of it. I think I carried that for a long time. Still do sometimes. But the thing is, I had characters. I had stories. I had people made up in my head who didn't judge me. Or maybe they did. But at least I controlled what they thought and said. And somehow, that made all the difference. Character creation wasn't an escape, it was a mirror. And sometimes a shield. When I wrote brave characters, I could pretend I was brave. When I wrote someone angry, I could finally let myself feel that anger. When I wrote someone who felt different or out of place, I felt seen. There's some kind of magic about it, creating a whole person who doesn't exist, and then realizing they understood you better than anyone else did in real life. I didn't start with a plot outline or world building. I started with a feeling, a gut instinct, a little voice in my head that whispered, what if someone like this existed? And then suddenly, they did. So, let's say you want to create a character. Not for a novel, not for school, just for you. What do you need? Honestly, you need curiosity. You don't need a perfect name or a tragic backstory right away. You just need questions, and you need wonder. You could start with something small, like, what do they keep in their pockets? What makes them flinch? What's something they've never told anyone? Sometimes you build outwards. This is who they are. This is what happened to make them feel that way. Sometimes you build inwards. Okay, she was abandoned. But how did she survive that? The details don't come all at once, and they shouldn't. Characters are people, and people are slow. People reveal themselves in layers, in bits. You don't get it all in one sitting. You have to earn them. Writing characters helped me survive some of the worst parts of my life. Not because they fixed anything, not because they distracted me, but because they let me feel the things in a way I couldn't say or do out loud. I could give someone else the fears I wasn't allowed to fear or show. I could let someone scream when I was too quiet to let it out. I could let someone kiss the girl I couldn't even say I liked. And it wasn't about control, it was about the truth, safe truth. And eventually those stories started to teach me how to be honest in real life too. They helped me find poetry, helped me start saying things I used to leave stuck in my head, and helped me find a voice, or maybe just remind me that I had one all along. Now, when I write characters, I still start with the vibe first, but I might not know their full story yet. I'll know their room, maybe, or their favorite hoodie. I might know the way they talk when they're nervous, or how they decorate their space when no one is looking. The rest, their trauma, their goals, their mistakes, that comes later. But I always try to ask, what's hurting them? What do you think they want? What do they actually need? If you can figure those things out, you've got something real. Something people say, oh, you write to escape. And yeah, sometimes I do. But more often, I write to understand, to grieve, to remember. Characters help me untangle. They make me a mess, and I know it's worth writing. That's why I'm making this podcast. Not to show off, not to explain my stories like I have it all figured out, because I want to share the weird, beautiful, emotional chaos of what it means to build a whole human being out of nowhere, out of nothing but questions. And if you're still listening, maybe you're a writer. Maybe you're just someone who feels too much and needs somewhere to put it. Or maybe you're something else. Either way, you're welcome here. Next episode, I'm going to talk about a character named Shelby. She's a lot. She's a witch turned vampire. She guards a magical barrier that protects an entire hidden realm. She invests herself in everything that she thinks is true. She reinvents herself every decade or so. She doesn't trust anyone. And honestly, I don't think she trusts me either. But she's one of the most important characters I've ever made. And next week, we're going to get into why. So, yeah. Come back. It gets weirder. Until then, keep wondering and keep building the people who live in your head. They might just save you too.